Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today another exciting episode you've been waiting for. We're going to continue on with the 1980s Top 30 Showdown, okay? And this episode, we're going to continue with more of the analysis and the making of this comprehensive Top 30 list for the 1980s, okay? So, before I begin, I want to remind everyone to go down below, click like and subscribe, because it's going to take a few more episodes to go through all the titles there. And it's going to get pretty intense, as the graph has shown in the past that, there's more OAVs and movies now because that's near the end of the 80s. So it's going to get really challenging and tough to go through all the different OAVs. So definitely you want to make sure you are following those next episodes that are coming up. All right? So, and also... I've also made available the super thanks option. So if you really enjoy this particular episode or the series I'm doing, by all means you can thank me by hitting that button there and donating something towards the episode. Also, I do also have a subscription service available for the subscribers and the supporters. I have also made a special set of episodes that are designed for those subscribers. So they'll content that I can't put on YouTube here. All this specialty sort of videos and that kind of stuff. Those are all available to subscribers. Okay, so might be something that you want to check out as well. There, links are below. Okay, but in today's episode, we're going to go into more analysis and this building of this top 30 list. Okay. So again, obviously it's going to take several episodes to do. I started basically from the 1980s, and we're going to work forward. And basically, as I work forward, we're going to do comparisons of all the current episodes that are on the year, and going to go and basically see where they slot in and if they have a place in the top 30 for the 1980s. Okay? So again, if you want to, I have the links below for the previous episodes, as well as all the episodes which I did to get all the information and all the analysis to build my entire table of all the animes that are significant from the 1980s. Again, links below. You can go and look at the entire grand database of episodes I have available for that. All right, so do check that out. Okay, so without further delay, let's get into some analysis and let's get into this top 30 showdown. Okay, so like the previous episodes, we have on the left-hand side the current listings for the top 30 countdown, and here we go. On the left-hand side, we have the 1987 My Anime List, most significant titles. Right now we're doing the OAVs, and this is going to be a really challenging episode because there's 51 OAVs. This is a top 30, so this is going to get, there's going to be obviously lots of changes going on in the OAVA category. So good shuffle around, and also, we're going to have some tough titles to pick through, so see what's going to happen. So anyways, let's very quickly go through the OAVA titles list. And then we'll kind of go from there, right? So, very quickly, starting on the OAV title, we got the Bubblegum Crisis OAVA. It's very popular. I think a lot of people, getting started in cyberpunk and that kind of stuff, started with Bubblegum Crisis. That was really good. Digital Devil Story, also, finally had a game made for it. Twilight Q. The Dirty Pair TV OAVs, which is the last episodes that were needed for the TV series, because the TV series ended at 24. This one makes it up to 26. Rumiko World 3, so the third installment of the Rumiko Takahashi series. Dragon War Chronicles, Body Jack, and Hikaru On. So those are all part of the Pink Noise set there. We got Mina Ageru. We have Hell Target. Elf 17, Salamander, also based on the video game, same name. We have the Heavy Metal Elgime, second and third OVAs. We have Creamy Mommy, the Perfect Memory OVA, which again, based on the TV series. And that's just the first quarter. Second quarter, we have Black Magic M66, the Macross 2012 Flashback, which is more or less a music video. Project Echo 2. So Project Echo 1 happened in the movie. Project Echo 2 is, I guess, short enough that they decided, well, let's not put it in the movie theater. Let's put it on directly to video. So That's where we end up with Project Gecko 2 as an OVA. A Space Fantasy 2001 Nights, so again, sort of based on 2001 Space Odyssey. Yotoden, the God Bless Dan Cougar OVA, which is again, based off the TV series Dan Cougar. We have Pants no Ana, Circuit Angel, another motorcycle one, which I was really kind of interested in. Sangoshi, which is also known as the Susing the Mousquetaire or the Three Musketeers. Okay, we continue on to season 3. They released another Bubble Crisis OVA. They have Robot Carnival, which is that big sort of mixture of short stories with robots in them. Lily Cat, Dangayos. So this is one of the first commercial U.S. releases of an anime from U.S. renditions. And, the original Dango came out, of course, here in 87, but that VHS tape from U.S. renditions didn't come out until, 92. So we're talking, 5 years span here before they actually got their, off their ass and actually made this silly thing. So it's just kind of indication of what we're talking for scale here. Okay, we also have Hinatori Yamato, Crystal Triangle, Dead Heat, High School Agent, Majoko Club, Alien X, Putnam Love, the Maho no Yosei Parasha, the Zillion recaps, which is obviously, recapping the TV series for Zillion, and that's season 3, and season 4, or quarter 4, which rounds off the last of 1987, will be the Devilman OVA, Junk Boy, Battle Royal High School, the Dirty Pair OVAs, Madox 01, which is again Animeogo's first sort of anime that they released on VHS tape. Again, won't happen until the 90s, of course. Take the X Train, Toy, Gal Force 2 Destruction, Hinatori, Steel Demon, The Samurai, Good Morning Althea, Ladius, the Kimagura Orange Road Tanaba Special, and Scoopers. So there you go, 51 OAVs. We have to then try to make those fit into this top 30. This is going to be fun. Let's begin. Okay, so the first thing I'll go do is I'll do the easier ones. The ones that basically will not make the list just because they're already either on the list or they just, we'll just eliminate them just as a maintenance. Sorry, actually. So I've got a couple here. Let's see. We'll do the Dirty Pair TV OVAs and the regular Dirty Pair OVAs because Dirty Pair's already on the list, right? And the TV episodes were episode 25 and 26 that they released to video, not to broadcasted on TV. So it literally belongs with the series. I'm going to put Rumic World 3. Because Rumic World is already on the list, so we just add that 1 to number 3. This is remember Rumic World 1 was Fire Tripper, Rumic World 2 was Charles the Chojin, and the third one was Laughing Target. So we just added to that one on the list. Heavy Metal Elgaim OVAs number 2 and 3. Obviously, those belong with the rest of the series of Heavy Metal Elgaim. The Cream Mommy Perfect Special, again, is a kind of a compilation episode of the Cream Mommy TV series. So, again, belongs with that. There is the Macross 2012 flashback. As flashback indicates, it's clips from the actual Macross TV series with a special Min-May concert video thing that they had at the end of it, right? So, that was the premise of making this short OVA clip. Give you some slightly more Macross. There's God Bless Dan Cougar again. To continue following up with more stuff for the first crew of the Dan Cougar TV series. Then next we have the Sangoshi Pilot OVA. So this is kind of one of those one shot sort of let's see if this works. OVA, and again it's based off of or I guess in French it came out as Susing the Mousquetaire, the Three Musketeers, the Adventures of D'Artagnan. again, I was gonna put these with the TV series, but I don't think the TV series is actually ranked anymore, so we'll eliminate that one. Next one would be Zillion, the recaps. As the title suggests, it is basically a compilation of the story for Zillion. Golf Force 2. Now again, we already have Golf Force 1 from previous earlier, an earlier thing. We can combine that with the OAV for Golf Force in that one. And the last one would be the Orange Road Tanaba Special. So again, I'm going to combine that with the Orange Road, the TV series, because it's kind of again, the same thing. It's a pilot test episode for Orange Road. All right. So that will make the list a little bit shorter. Okay, so now let's tackle the surefires here. Okay, so basically things that are pretty much should be shooing. These are going to be titles that are going to be pretty obvious that should be on this list. And they're going to be, let's see, we're going to do Bubblegum Crisis, because obviously anyone who's got into the genre, in this special order is one of the first things is, Bubblegum Crisis, the whole concept of the lightsabers. It combined, action, cybernetics, cyberpunk, and that kind of stuff, kind of all, melded together. So that was really nice. There's Black Magic M66, Mashman Shiro stuff, predecessor to Appleseed, and of course, Ghost in the Shell. So definitely that should be in there. The next installment to the Project ACO is here in this section. Again, I think I believe that Project ACO 1 was actually posted up as a movie. Now it's the OAVA. So, but definitely this should be on the list. And the fourth one right now should be Yotoden. Again, the is probably one of the nice, cleanest sort of, ninja sort of, basically, sort of, a medieval Japanese story, things that came out at this time. So, definitely those ones should go there. So, what should I slide out? Let's see. It shouldn't be too difficult right away, but let's see what we got. I think I will remove Rose of Versailles. At this time, still there was no translation for this particular series at that time. It did have some popularity, so people did sort of know about it. Birth, yes, I can say that Birth is not as good as any of these four that I've got here. So yes, I will eliminate that. Let's see, I'll eliminate Delos, because obviously Delos is one of those things where you kind of have to watch the series, and then it becomes part of the series is the ending movie. Now the only problem with this is that Delos, the actual anime, was just prior to this generation, to this decade mark bracket. So it is actually in the previous one. So it suffers from the same problem that the Yamato had, right? So again, so that one gets pretty much eliminated just because of that reason. Because even if I wanted to keep up with the series, it's from the previous decade. So, and the last one I'll get rid of would be Prime Rose Time Slip. I mean, okay. I mean, at this time, definitely, the only reason it was anywhere popular because it's done by the guy who does Astro Boy. But then again, that's stuff from the previous decade. And even I guess for the most part, nobody ever fan subbed this or subtitled it. And only just recently it got streaming rights. So, I mean, again, this is more of that, going into the garbage can and picking all the crap that no one else is going to license to finally get it on get some translation out of it. So, definitely it doesn't belong on the list. All right, so what else is on the list here? We have Robot Carnival, Dangayo, let's see, the Devilman OVAs, and the Maddox 01 OVA. So yeah, definitely those should belong on this list somehow. I think some of the good titles on there. So because obviously Robot Carnival, nice mixture of all the different sort of animes, different artists and that kind of stuff all put together into a whole bunch of shorts all about robots and that kind of stuff, and it's got the guy that does that will be making Akira. Obviously they got the guy who does Zeta Gundam, those Zeta Gundam. So I mean, it's a good mixture of different character designs and whatnot. So it's a definitely good little feature there. Dangaio, of course, is just because that's one of the first sort of animes that we all sort of got over here on VHS. That came out in the early '90s, right? 91, I do believe. So very, very significant anime in that one. That was sort of the first one that's sort of done in that style. Obviously, we're gonna get Extra One and that kind of stuff also in that same batch. We got released there. I'd have to say the same thing with Madox 01, right? And when Anime Ego first got that one out, that was their sort of first release on VHS tape over here. And then, of course, the last one was Devilman. Going to guy, he's not one of my favorite kind of guys. I don't particularly like his art style, except, at least in the Devilman franchise, I didn't like his stuff until Devilman Lady. But then again, he didn't do the character design for that, so that's probably part of the reason why I liked it. I mean, still, I recognize that it's still a very important addition to the Devilman franchise, and especially, and again, also the fact that it has a lot of significance because 80 Vision picked this one up when it first came out, and then I guess then later on it switched over the U.S. manga. Popularized it afterwards. So what can I get rid of to put these titles in? Well, the list is kind of still relatively easy still. Obviously, I'd have to go for the Mospita Love Live and Live, because that's essentially a big music video. Okay, essentially. Let's just take clips and coverage from the Mospita TV series and put it to the music of the Yellow Dancer, and essentially you got a big, huge music video. So you got that. There's Nora. Okay, that's a pretty obvious one again. Lots of talk of it because because it became hard to get and all that kind of stuff. But even back then, nobody cared about it. Well, Greed. Okay. One of these type of things where it's just obscure enough. No one really kind of latched onto this one. It got traded around a little bit, bouncing back, but again, just it's too far below people's radar. And I'd have to say the same thing with the Fandora. I mean, back in our time, this time, the girls with the sword type of thing was things like Fandora, was things like Yoko Leda, right? And again, if you're thinking of video games, like the Sega Saturn or Sega Genesis, sorry, in this case, then you're thinking of games like Valis, right? So it's not that this wasn't a popular sort of genre or subtype. It's just these shows just didn't have any influence over here, and just the fact that there's lack of any translation just didn't help it either. Although I do remember, that Fandora and Yooka-Laylee were one of the first sort of, girls with the sword fantasy type of animes that I got, and probably the same first sort of art books that I sort of got in terms of Japanese animation of those type of things. So significant enough, but I just don't think they're going to make the cut in the same way that that we have titles such as that we have on the list here. So definitely the Fandora has to go. Titles at the bottom of the list here. I'm gonna have to just quickly go here. I'm gonna say Daikon. MD Geist wasn't very good. I mean, it's there. It's probably one of the first ones we had, but it's not a really great one. Pink Noise 01. The sixth movie it should be. It's probably the Eurus. Yeah, it's already listed in the movie. So technically, I could remove that one. Yeah. So that's 3. Fandora's probably 4. Dream of Rem's 5. Cosmos Pink Shot 6. Dirty Red and Olandia Affairs is technically already with the movie, so it's 7. Orange Rock and TV is 8. Professional defense was a bit too loud. Never been those ones. So I got about 10 titles that I can easily slot in there. Probably. Now, what significant titles could we probably fit in there? Well, there's a bunch of commercial release ones that are already sort of, I can see that's on the list that should probably belong there. The Samurai. Steel Demon was pretty good. Digital Devil Story, again, PlayStation game, the same name. Battle Royale High School got released. Dragon Chronicles, that was really popular, just because it's dragons, that kind of stuff. Hell Target, Elf 17, Salamander, based on the video game's name. Lily Cap, Crystal Triangle, the commercial release. I personally like Toy. Junk Boy, of course, was kind of really interesting. It was kind of an early version of Golden Boy. Now, I do have to take that Body Jack and Hikaru on, which are all part of the Pink Noise thing. But, again, I already mentioned Pink Noise. So, yeah, okay. If we shuffle those ones around, I can probably deal with the 10. That means, if out of this 10 sort of titles that I've sort of picked, the ones that won't make the cut, even with those 10, would be probably the rest of this list. So I would then throw 2001 Nights, Mina Agaru, Twilight Q, even though it's a Kimitaka, it just won't make this cut for sure. Pants no Ana, Circuit Angel, even that's motorcycles and the theme song is done by Hiroko Moriguchi, but it just won't make this list. Hinatori, both the Yamato version and the Uchu version, again, just lack of translation, just wouldn't make it. Dead Heat, now that one was interesting. That was kind of like a mechanized motorbike racing sort of thing, with kind of like these sort of racing suits, and that was interesting. But again, no translation, so that doesn't help that one. High School Agent, Majoko Club, Magical Girl Show, but again, wrong era for Magical Girl Shows. Putting Down Love, Scoopers, Take the X Train, Maho Parasha. So, I mean, in the same lineage of Creamy Mommy, Magical Emmy, Parasha did well in other countries, just not in North America. So, again, that won't put in the list. And then two personal favorite kind of favorite ones of mine: Good Morning Althea and Ladis. Now we did do fan subs of these ones, but again, in terms of the reception, that kind of stuff. Even though Ladis has the character design of the guy who does Double Zeta Gundam, and Althea did had a lot of influence artwork from Studio Tron. Yeah, just again, just against its competition, I'd have to say all those titles, won't make the cut. So that will be probably that's all I'll have to do. And then we'll basically see which one of these titles it will fight for those roughly 10 slots that will fit in here. However, I'm at the 20-minute mark, so I'm going to have to do that in the next episode. So again, make sure you're down below. You are subscribed. And thank you for watching this far in the video. And we'll have to catch you in the next one, right? So we're getting further and further on this. And, again, we're going to have to continue this on the next episode. The competition is going to get pretty intense. And it's going to get tougher and tougher to decide what stays and what goes. So again, I hope you'll join me in the next episode. Don't forget to click like and click subscribe, and make sure that your notifications are on, because then when I release that episode, then you'll know when to watch and continue on with this series. All right. So until next time, I will see you again.